Oh, I'm dragging a child's kite. How long have I been dragging that for? And why didn't any of these nice people tell me?
I've been waiting for this for weeks. I gotta tell you, I am so ready to do this. I even have the bed ready.
What?
So when you get home, we can get really dirty.
Gotta
go. Hey! Here you go. With all this compost, we're gonna have the best plants in the neighborhood.
Trailing Thoughts from Airport Gap. If planes were like people, would jets be considered the jocks? Would they throw hangar parties when their parents were out of town? If one plane said to the other, "I just flew in from the coast, and boy, are my arms tired," would it be considered a joke or just normal conversation?
Sometimes people just say, "Can you hold my hand?" And you make that difference. And you're helping them get through a bad day.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the October 9th, 2023 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, led today by Commissioner Jim Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. If you're so inclined, would you please join me in prayer? Dear Lord, we come to you today asking for guidance, wisdom, courage, and kindness as we address the affairs of this community. Help us engage in meaningful discussions that lead to decisions that advance this city and its residents. We also ask for your intervention into the current affairs and events in the state of Israel and the Gaza Strip. We ask you for calm minds, rational decisions, and healing hearts. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll and make a determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan? Here. Commissioner Hill?
Here.
Commissioner Burns?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's take up for consideration the minutes from the agenda review, City Council, and second budget hearing of September 25th. Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Okay, that brings us to awards presentations and recognitions. And here in Orlando, we are committed to putting inclusion and equity at the forefront of all that we do, and that includes celebrating diversity and how it makes our city more vibrant and welcoming, and recognizing the past that helped shape our city. So we look ahead this month to our Come Out with Pride Festival, and the City of Orlando is also recognizing LGBTQ plus History Month, and we're fortunate to have a trailblazer who helped Orlando become a welcoming community, who's helped lead us, Commissioner Sheehan. Thank you for your passion, your advocacy, and leadership. I'm going to ask Luis Martinez, our Office of Multicultural Affairs Manager, if he'll give us an overview of the recognition.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer and City Commissioners. LGBTQ plus History Month is recognized each October to coincide with National Coming Out Day on October 11th and the anniversary of the first march in Washington, D.C. for gay and lesbian rights in 1979. The month is an opportunity to highlight the achievements and contributions of LGBTQ plus people to our nation. It is fitting that our community joins in the recognition because LGBTQ plus residents have long helped shape our city and make it more welcoming for all. And the month is especially meaningful here in Orlando because every October we host the nation's best Pride event, Come Out with Pride. Come Out with Pride will be held on Saturday, October the 21st with the parade through downtown's streets and the festival at Lequiola Park. Come Out with Pride gives our city the opportunity to celebrate our vibrant LGBTQ plus community and showcase that Orlando is a place where LGBTQ plus residents and visitors are loved, respected, seen, and heard. We took a picture with members of our city's Come Out with Pride committee, as well as our influential local LGBTQ leaders that are here joining us today, Mayor Dyer and City Commissioners. Now please proceed to read the city proclamation.
Okay, I have a proclamation proclaiming LGBTQ plus History Month in Orlando. Whereas learning about the past, both accomplishments and dark moments, can help us build a stronger future. In Orlando, we believe that history is a teaching tool to understand the impacts of the past as we look ahead to a more equitable tomorrow. And whereas October is recognized as LGBTQ plus History Month to celebrate the achievements, leadership, and contributions of LGBTQ plus Americans. And whereas in Orlando, LGBTQ plus residents, organizations, small businesses, and events have strengthened our city in countless ways and made it more welcoming and vibrant over the years. And whereas the City of Orlando is grateful for the LGBTQ plus elected officials, community leaders, and residents who are fighting every day to make our city, state, and nation more inclusive. And whereas we recognize LGBTQ plus History Month in Orlando, and whereas together we celebrate the achievements and contributions of our city's LGBTQ plus trailblazers, and are committed to working to make sure all our residents are valued, seen, and heard as we continue to show the world that love is stronger than hate. Now, therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, Commissioner Patty Sheehan, and the entire Orlando City Council do hereby proclaim October 2023 is LGBTQ plus History Month in the City of Orlando. Okay, this is the spot where we would ordinarily take a picture, but we just did that outside on the stairs, so, and I'm sure it's going to turn out to be a great photo because all of our commissioners turned up, some a little later than others, but everybody eventually made it there. And thank you to our planning committee, and thank all of the community activists that are here with us today and are part of making this month so special. So thank you. Look forward to seeing you at the Pride Parade. Okay, the next item is an important federal grant that was awarded to the City of Orlando. And to make that announcement is Congressman Maxwell Frost, whose hard work and support helped secure this grant for one of our key programs to help reduce community-based violence through our community violence intervention program. So I'd like to turn it over to Congressman Frost. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, commissioners, and everybody here. Many of you know that I was elected to office fighting for gun violence. It's an issue that's very important to me. It's something I've been involved in since the age of 15. As the first Generation Z elected to Congress, I often tell people we're the mass shooting generation. And I remember growing up going through more mass shooting drills, school active shooter drills than fire drills. Unfortunately, Floridians in particular know this devastation of shootings and mass shootings firsthand. Here at Pulse nightclub, where we lost 49 angels due to armed bigotry and armed hate. Parkland, where we saw a shooter enter a high school and murder children and teachers in cold blood. There are moments that have forever changed our state and our hearts, and it was these tragedies that sparked me to action at the age of 15 and have sparked so many people to action across the entire country. That's why the first bill I introduced as a member of Congress is to create a federal office of gun violence prevention, something our country never had up until about 2 weeks ago. In April, I stood alongside the mayor, other community leaders, the family of Tiana Major, who was tragically shot earlier this year, in front of City Hall to announce this bill. And just a few weeks ago, I received a call from the White House, and they told me that the president loved the bill, loved the idea, and wanted to implement it via executive action since Congress is having a hard time working right now. So it was an honor to stand with the president in the Rose Garden with the vice president to announce this office that has many different missions, but primarily to accelerate the implementation of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first piece of federal gun violence legislation passed in nearly 30 years, was passed last year, but the implementation has been a bit slow. This office is going to help ensure that these dollars come down to municipalities and counties across the entire country to help save lives. And I'm honored that just last week we found out that the City of Orlando will be receiving $1.5 million for the Community Violence Intervention Program, which is important in working at saving lives. I jokingly called the director of the office last week and said, all right, what's the first order of business? Because we got a $1.5 million grant. Did you have anything to do with that? And they said, actually, we did. Before we even unboxed in the office, we called all the agencies in charge of these grant dollars and said, this needs to go out before the government shutdown. This is when it was looming. And they were successful in doing that. And so thanks to our partners here at the City of Orlando, our office and district staff, and the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, this money is coming down to the City of Orlando from the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to help ensure that we end gun violence on a community level here. It's going to take everything. Law enforcement plays a role, the citizens play a role, and this money is going to go towards ensuring that CVI is strong in the City of Orlando. And so this moment wouldn't be possible without the work of activists, organizations, Central Floridians from this very community who rose up and have been fighting to end gun violence. And so I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to present this federal grant.
Thank you, Congressman. Why don't you guys stand up here? We'll do a picture. Stand up don't make the altar against me. Check is bigger than the congressman. Fit into it. Okay, that brings us to the mayor's update. Commissioner Gray mentioned during his invocation the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, and our city is certainly sending our support to the people of Israel as they face acts of terror. As I understand it, hundreds of lives have been taken and hostages have been taken as well. So we stand in solidarity with Israel and offer our love and compassion to Orlando's Jewish community. Tomorrow, we kick off a year-long celebration of the anniversary of one of the City of Orlando's most successful economic development programs, and that is our Orlando Main Street program, which started 15 years ago. We're proud that we have 12 Main Street programs that offer one-of-a-kind experiences in our local neighborhood commercial districts. So exciting about that. And then one thing, and I want to note on the agenda is B1 in Commissioner Ortiz's district, where we are purchasing a piece of property on Roberto Clemente Road using our Housing Ready project funds that will allow us to develop affordable housing, especially senior housing in that location. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is a number of items acted upon through a single vote of council. We allow each of our commissioners to comment on the consent agenda items and update you with important happenings from their districts. We rotate the order that we do that, and first up today is Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to go on record as saying Commissioner Burns and I were here on time, looking very photogenic, I might add. And the rest of you were late. We didn't realize you were outside, so we apologize for that. So we were okay. Thank you, Commissioner Burns. A couple of quick announcements and then an agenda item. I want to go back to the 27th of September. We did the State of Downtown, hearing about some exciting things going on in the city. But I really wanted to thank the Downtown Orlando Partnership and the Downtown Development Board for hosting what was a great event, a lot of community leaders and involvement. So it was a really good time, and thanks to them for doing that. On Tuesday, the 3rd of October, we celebrated National Night Out. Again, thank you very much to our public safety staff for showing up and interacting with neighbors and helping build stronger communities. We've said it many times here. We've got to get neighborhood involvement to make our city safer, and that's a great event to do it. So thanks to our public safety staff. And then I wanted to mention, I said it personally, but I want to say it again, thanks to the mayor and team for having this morning's workshop. I think it was helpful for all of us to learn information, to talk about things. We've got some tough decisions ahead of us as a city and as a region, and we need to talk them out and share information to make the right decisions. So thanks for doing that, Mayor. That was really beneficial. On the agenda, just wanted to thank the park staff. Item D2, a retrofit of the lighting in Southport. What's interesting, Southport is 20 years old. It's hard to imagine that park has been going for 20 years, but it's time to retrofit the lighting and some of the things on our ball fields and our soccer fields. So I want to thank them for coordinating with OUC and getting that done. The neighbors will really appreciate that. So with that, Mayor, everything else is on my website, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me start by giving my thanks to all those who participated in National Night Out last week. As Commissioner Gray said, it was outstanding. We got to visit a lot of our communities. As enthusiasm is tremendous. The amount of people that came out this particular time was amazing. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic being over or whatnot, but it was really neat to visit most of the parties that we have in our district. So I want to thank our staff from the police department for helping us out with this, and every member in my office, Keith Hernandez, and my aide, I usually call my boss, Megan Shaver, because she was holding the academy at the same time we were doing these other things. So good effort to maintain things going and rolling. So, Mayor, today we have item B1, as you very well mentioned, 5750 Roberto Clemente. A few years ago, we attempted to do something there, and by the grace of God, it didn't happen. So this time, by the grace of God, it's happening. And I'm very proud, but I want to go ahead and personally commend our staff, Deborah Gerald, Kevin Edmonds, Oren Henry, thank you so much, Lori Botts, Chris McCall, and every staff member that has been involved in this particular project. I'm very proud because this is exactly what we're looking for, a good project for good people. This is a project is going to benefit a lot of our seniors. And as we all know, City of Orlando, at least as long as I've been here, we've been fighting Tallahassee to get those fundings, Sadowski Fund, for affordable housing, and it's an ongoing battle every year in order for us to get funding to be able to sustain our communities when it comes to affordable housing and other opportunities that we have. And our staff are tremendous when it comes to that. Oren Henry, you're amazing, and thank you for everything you do, and so is Deborah, and as I mentioned, everybody else before, Lori Botts. Thank you so much. Our community keeps moving forward, and while other communities sometimes, and sadly enough, see themselves with all kinds of obstacles, we push hard enough to get what we need for our communities, and this is a project that will make us all very proud. So thank you, Mayor, thank you, Commissioners, for helping us out with this. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, and I also want to mention National Night Out. We had a great turnout. I appreciate that. We got around to about, I guess, 8 or 10 parties. I want to say a special thanks to Carlos Hill, our officer, Corporal Hill, and Maria Montano for the work that they did to get it organized. So thank y'all very, very much. It was a great turnout. We had a rainstorm come through, so we happened to be kind of catching people before and after, and even in spite of that, we had a good turnout, so I'm happy for that. I want to say congratulations to Lou Gardens on a great kickoff of Happy Frights and Haunting Nights. So it's going to be going on through October 31st. It's a great event over there at Lou Gardens in the evening. So you can bring the kids early in the evening. Our adults can come later on and have a good time. Had an opportunity to go over to the Manila Museum. I want to just encourage everybody to go over. They have an opening of a nature's. It's of nature or something like that. I've forgotten the name, and Shannon will. I apologize, Shannon. But it's about landscape artists in the mid 19th century. So it's all around the Hudson Valley. It's wonderful. Another good example of the great art that we have in our country and our chance to be part of that. So thank you very much. Had an opportunity to go to see Strokestra. Some of y'all may or may not be familiar with that, but Strokestra is a special incentive plan that was done, started by the Royal Philharmonic to bring stroke victims out to be able to use music therapy. Had a small concert last Friday night. It was wonderful. Advent Health, one of the insurance companies, Blue, I think was the insurance company, and several others stepped up to provide some leadership and some funding for it, as well as the Steinmetz family. It's a chance to have wonderful therapy. It started in London. They brought the idea to us last year. We kind of did it again, and we're really excited about that. Also want to thank Lori for 21 years. Lori, thank you. Thank you for letting me come in and yell at you and just my therapy sessions. I appreciate that. Some upcoming events. Thursday night is the College Park Rotaries Takes to College Park. Saturday is the Family Parks and Rec Golf Tournament over at Dubstred. And then the return to Joyland, celebrating, I guess, 5 years now of of the Ivanhoe Village, Ivanhoe Park Brewing over in Ivanhoe Village. On the agenda today, let me share a couple quick things. We're bringing back the holiday decorations in a little different way. I'm happy about that. Thank you, David Dunn, for the work that you've done on that. I want to say a special thanks about the continued agreement to maintain Miriam's Garden over at Orlando Museum of Art. That's been a wonderful asset over there. And then also on F2 today, we'll be sending a recommendation over to the school board to waive the school impact fee for affordable housing. This, again, another way to kind of keep our costs down, and we're excited about having that, keep that going and get that moving. The mayor and I, you and I have got a work along scheduled sometime soon. Go over there and do some work over at the facility. So that's all that I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Sheehan.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. And Lori, enjoy your retirement. 21 years. It's a long time, but we really appreciate you. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people don't understand. We have so many amazingly dedicated employees who aren't here for the money, who are here because they really believe in the work. And we really appreciate all of you, but especially Lori, 21 years is a long time to put up with us all. So thank you very much for that. A national night, I made it to 12 of the 14 parties that we had. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to every single one, but we had to go all the way from Millennia to Colonial Town, so we had a lot of area to cover. But I also want to set a shout out to Lake Eola Heights, who won 3rd place in the contest overall. So District 5 didn't carry all the awards this year, so we're just proud to have brought some home to District 4. I'm actually delighted that we did the LGBTQ plus History Month proclamation. Things have really changed a lot since I first was elected to City Council. When I got out here for the first day, my name tag said Patty She-Man because someone thought that was funny. And the employees were really reluctant to come talk to me because they were afraid to come out. And that was 23 years ago. And now I see the fact that we have a contingent in the Pride Parade. Mayor, you're very welcoming and been gracious, and as council too. I can't thank you all enough, because to have seen the change in the last 23 years and how, you know, we treat each other and how we embrace diversity, equity, inclusion is very, very important. And if you don't know why it's important, I actually almost lost my job because I went to the March on Washington in 1997, and someone took a picture of me, and it was in the back of it. I wasn't even planning to be in the picture. It ended up being in the Orlando Sentinel, and someone sent that to my boss in Tallahassee at the Department of Agriculture, and I got demoted. So that's why, you know, employment protections for LGBTQ plus people are very, very important, because you shouldn't lose your job because you want to take a vacation. And this happens to a lot of people, and we've had lots of testimony over the years of how people have been discriminated against, how they've lost their housing, and all these things. So that's why that's why this is so critically important. And I appreciate this board for your commitment to fairness and equality. So thank you very much. And I was also glad to see the grant today for $1.5 million. I went to Washington D.C. one time, and I saw a mural, and it said something about assault weapons. And at the time, I didn't know what an assault weapon was. And that was about the time that that the federal government instituted the assault weapon ban. I did not realize that many, many years later, I would be, you know, standing on our street on Orange Avenue dealing with a mass shooting which used an assault weapon. So anything that we can do, I really appreciate Congressman Frost, anything that we can do to get these weapons of war off of our street is critically important. And thank you, you know, Chief, for getting violence, you know, for getting the guns off the street. It's very, very important. I know gun violence is down by 30% because of your efforts. This tears families, this tears community apart, and we need to get this under control, and anything that we can do is very, very important. On the agenda today, I love the little holiday snowflakes. I'm glad to see that we're going to be putting those back up. I love the little Christmas trees even more, but they're not there anymore. But you know, at least I think it's important to celebrate the holidays, and people really love that. Item B9, we're also installing fitness equipment at Alcoy Park, and we're also going to have wonderful equipment for our seniors, because we have a lot of senior towers in that area. So we have we'll have all age groups represented for the fitness equipment. And item I5 today, Mills and Mount Vernon Mast Arm. it's all about the little things sometimes, but those mast arms are expensive, and we want to make sure that those traffic signals work when we have hurricanes and such. So that's all I had on the agenda there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer, and congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for your service, Lord. Really appreciate it. Also, to you, Commissioner Ortiz, if we were probably 10 years ago to see or think that affordable housing was going on the east side in District 2, I would never would have thought it, but through your leadership and Mayor Dyer's leadership in this council, and changing the mindset of what affordable housing is, it's so good to see that, and so congratulations. I'm excited for your area to be able to get that affordable housing component, and to the city for investing in properties to create this. And, you know, when we start talking about affordable housing, which is near and dear to me and in this council, and especially Mayor Dyer, I often tell people the city of Orlando, Mayor Dyer, through your leadership, has led the way. We have created over 3,500 units of affordable housing here in the city of Orlando, not just Central Florida, but the city of Orlando. Within the last 5 years, we were proactive before there was even an affordable housing crisis. Mayor Dyer had already put a plan together and rolled it out in 2013, 2014 towards creating affordable housing on city land. So with that, I'm just appreciative of this council and your forward thinking, Mayor Dyer, in most things. Commissioner Burns is getting ready to unroll some affordable housing over in the Washington Shores area and Holden Heights area. So to see that component, and next stop is Lake Nona. No, I'm just look up, don't you hear me on that side? But you are, remember, no more than a few months ago on a major development, you negotiated 10% of affordable housing to come in Lake Nona. So this is something that I'm just excited about, what this council and Mayor Dyer is doing throughout the city of Orlando and offering mixed income. And to talk about that, even today here on council, which I'm very supportive of, we're getting ready to create another 76 units of affordable multifamily units in the Paramore Creative District there at Creative Village. So I'm just excited about how this city is leading the way with these efforts and working with developers and creating this space with our land. I think that's the only way we can create it, is the city has to continue to purchase land in cities throughout America and not just rate on private investors to do what we can with this crisis that we have. Another component, thank you to the CRA and Ms. Lori Botts from our real estate, and Tony Neely for negotiating with 30 South Orange LLC to lease this space there on Pine and Orange Avenue as a public space where we can have benches, and that's the vibrant downtown, and that Mayor Dyer at his State of Downtown mentioned on how to shape the future of downtown on initiatives that will bring more people downtown, you know, here, and make it vibrant, economically strong, and welcoming it, making it a welcoming community for all. And this is just another piece of that puzzle, David. So thank you and for leading the way on this. Downtown will be a neighborhood for all. It will be that thriving economic machine that we all desire, with a host of different amenities. I know here soon, this council and through Mayor Dyer's leadership, we just passed last council to renovate the Central Park downtown there in front of the historic Regional History Center, and there's so many more things to come. So I'm excited about the trajectory of downtown Orlando. Then on September the 29th, as we talk about affordable housing, we're not talking about a handout, we're talking about a hand up. In order to give someone a hand up, truly the best social program is a job. And through the partnerships of Valencia Accelerated Program and Mechanical One in the city of Orlando through our RISE program, we were able to partner with them and cut a ribbon there at the Mercy Drive corner last Friday before last, to create a HVAC program, a certificate program, electrical program, and a plumbing program, which are high-skilled trades with high wages. But we can't do that in a silo, and with the great partnership of Mechanical One that is leading the way and gave a $250,000 grant for these initiatives, I'm just forever thankful for them to create this new employment stream. Now, what was so, to me, heartwarming was Jamarcus and Jamari that lives there in that Mercy Drive corner, mayor and council, that now we're unemployed, now have the ability to walk down the sidewalk from Jernigan Gardens and the Palm Apartments right there across the street to that accelerated program, and now after 6 weeks, be able to be hired with Mechanical One and make up to $30 an hour. That's transformational. So now, with them staying in low-income housing, now they're just going through that pipeline to now home ownership. And I think that's what we want to see, and the dollars that we're investing isn't for long-term support, but for them to actually come out of the situations that they're in through these partnerships. Thank you to OPD, as it was stated. I wasn't able to get to all of my national night outs, and of course, yes, District 5 led the way, and with National Night Out, congratulations to Lake Sunset under Rich Black leadership, but a strong HOA over there that is just not in that area, but has now somewhat been, I would say, have mentored quite a few of our District 5 and west side of Orlando HOAs on how to create a stronger and more engaged HOA. Stopped there first and went on to about 10 more. We had about 20, and that's amazing to see that engagement. Thank you, Chief, and everyone's participation. There was officers very engaged and having a great time and building that gap of community policing, and our fireman was there, Chief, at many of the stops that we made. To see our public service, our public safety service officers there, and truly engaging. But what was, to me, such a testimonial about how this city really cares about community engagement, building and bridging that gap, but public safety was what I viewed when I went to Jernigan Gardens. We know Jernigan Gardens has faced some tragedies in the last month or so, but our officers was there with those residents, and there was just this camaraderie with those residents, to see their hope, to see their face and their resilience in them really connecting with our officers, because they are keeping them safe. And now, even though there's folks coming from the outside causing some problems, they do rely on our officers. 10 years ago, same thing I said about affordable housing in certain areas. It was it was a very distrusting area when it came to law enforcement engagement, when it came to the community and law enforcement. But now we see that partnership and children truly in that complex, holding on and hugging on to our law enforcement officers and knowing them by their name and those residents. So I'm so hopeful on what's gonna happen and the transition that's happening there, in spite of some of the things that's going on. I know with this CVI, this re-up of CVI money, we're gonna continue to see that trajectory of a downward spiral of violence, and especially through the great leadership of our Chief Smith and what he's doing to take drugs and guns and violent crimes as he promised, and criminals off the streets, because all of it go hand in hand. No matter how many mentors we put out there, if our officers wasn't getting these guns off the streets and making these arrests, we wouldn't see that 30%. So continue, just publicly, I'd like to say thank you. And you're doing it in a responsible, sensitive, and empathetic way. You're not just going around jacking everybody up. You're jacking up folks that need to be jacked up. You know, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. That's what builds that trust. No, that's the wrong terminology, but I am from Paramore, and we call it jack it up. And then on Friday, October the 6th, I was privileged to go out to a luncheon with Hand Up Orlando with Mayor Dyer and city staff with United Against Poverty, where once again they're talking about hand-ups and not handouts, helping people transform their lives through support, and just a great job what Ms. Heba and the rest of her team are doing there. And lastly, I would also thank our good friends that are now in District 4, but are doing great work throughout the city of Orlando, and primarily in District 5, and that's Operation New Hope, celebrating their first anniversary. We convened there at Dextersburg Land in Paramore, and up to this date, they have assisted over 250 individuals in this one short year of helping them with housing, training, certificate programs, and many opportunities with case managers. All of them have individual case managers, and over $313 for safe housing they have allocated, with over 1,272 hours of case management. That shows their commitment. 79% of those clients have been placed in jobs, and that's how we stop reincarceration, is through jobs, programs, and support. And last tidbit I learned, Mayor, and Lisa Early and the Paramore Kids Zone team, and Brenda March, this happened during your tenure as the director over there at Paramore Kids Zone. Now we're seeing those numbers. I know we've always seen the tide turn, but as myself and Commissioner Burns was over at Jones High homecoming this weekend, I spoke with a few of the instructors there, because Mr. Jones High is a product of Mayor Dyer's Paramore Kids Zone with a weighted GPA of 4.3. And from what I understand, every child that has came up the last 5 years from ACE to Jones High in the last 5 years are all honor students. So to see that investment and to see how it has transformed those students there in Paramore, not are they just graduating, but they're graduating in honors. And the person that's on their way to becoming the valedictorian that has a 4.8 grade point, weighted grade point average, is a Paramore Kids Zone student. Has the highest score at Jones High School. And so I think that is to be commended by these efforts of Mayor Dyer from 2005 and this council and the work that's being done over there to say our scholars at these schools, because of those student advocates, because of the support system and all those initiatives that have been put in place, when they were looked as the bottom of the barrel, now they're the cream of the crop. So I'm just excited about reporting that good news. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Burns, that my grandson challenged him to a 100-yard dash Friday evening, and he beat the brakes off of my grandson, and he didn't have to do properly like that.
I had to show him that he need to continue to work hard.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Hill, and thank you for that report, and we will now call on the speedy Bakari Burns.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a few updates. On Friday, September the 29th, I was honored to host my third annual For the Children Celebrity Golf Tournament. I want to thank my team for working hard to put together a successful event. This year the tournament raised over $35,000, and this money will go to for scholarships, senior services, and other things to help out individuals in need in District 6. So thank you to my fellow commissioners who supported. Also, I had a great time at National Night Out. I want to thank you to Chief OPD staff, and thank you to Orlando Health for their sponsorship. But also I'd like to recognize Mrs. Shirley Heath, who's the president of the Homeowners Association at Carver Shores Neighborhood Association, because they won second place. So we're excited. But this has been a tough year for Carver Shores. But this is, I will say, a very resilient community. Prior to National Night Out, Ms. Heath came to me and asked me, should they still host National Night Out because of all the gun violence and things that had been happening. And I told them that I was 100% supportive. Chief, we were pushing, they had requested some cameras in Poppy Park. The chief helped to expedite that process and got those cameras, which made them feel safer of coming back out and supporting and celebrating National Night Out. So I'd just like to say thank you, Chief, and Chief Salazar was there as well. Thank you for your presence. Again, we just need to continue to uplift these communities that have been hit hard by gun violence, and I'm glad to see the presentation of the $1.5 million from Congressman Frost, because I think that's going to go a long way to helping us address the gun violence that's happening. So again, thank you, Chief, for your diligence in that. Also, I'd like to say thank you to Tanya and the transportation team. When I was first elected, I was approached by residents of the Hidden Beach community, and they were talking to me about a very dangerous intersection of Hidden Beach and Conroy. And Ms. Becky Cherney mentioned to me that there had been a couple of people who lost their lives trying to cross that street. And I think right after I was sworn in mayor, there was a 17-year-old who lost his life crossing that street. And so we started discussion, transportation started discussion with Orange County, worked out an agreement, and now we have a fully functional light at Hidden Beach in Conroy. And when I stepped out at National Night Out at Hidden Beach, I got a round of applause, some cheers, specifically for that traffic light. So they're very thankful. So thank you for the transportation staff for making that happen, as well as Cade. I think I probably called Cade every other day asking him of the status of the light. And so thank you for you all for making that happen. Last thing, upcoming events in District 6 on Monday, October the 16th at 6:30 at the Grand Avenue Neighborhood Center. I will host my State of District 6 Town Hall meeting. And we'll be discussing some of the accomplishments, the vision for the future for District 6, as well as receiving updates from the various departments. So I encourage everyone to come out again 6:30 at the Grand Avenue Neighborhood Center. And with that, Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Okay, that brings us, we will, if there's no objection, recess City Council meeting, and we will convene the CRA. First order of business is meeting minutes from the September 11th CRA meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, David, why don't you take 2, 3, and 4?
Thank you, and good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Item 2, this is Amendment 1 to the funding agreement for the Beacon. This is the affordable housing development in Creative Village that Commissioner Hill spoke about earlier. In total, this will provide 106 units. 76 of those are provided funding through the Florida Housing Funds through 9% tax credits. What you have before you is ultimately funding from the CRA to match that local preference acknowledgement for RFA 2021-202, and I am happy to answer any questions of the board.
Questions, hearing none, are there a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone, this is CRA. Okay. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 3, this is a DTO facade funding agreement for 33 East Robinson Street. So this building, as you may recall, is kind of the bright green building that right there in fronts Robinson on the north side of the street. They're doing a number of improvements there. They're doing some facade work. They're doing some roof repair as well. As you may recall, we amended the program earlier this year to allow match of up to 80% for specific areas. The total funding that they are eligible for from the CRA is $105,382.40 for those facade repairs.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 4.
Number 4, so again, this is the lease agreement for 30 South Orange. Commissioner Hill, you mentioned this earlier. 30 South Orange is right on the corner of Orange Avenue and Pine Street. It is a small postage stamp of a property, but it is in the heart of our city and in downtown. So we're excited to have the opportunity to engage in a lease with the property owner there to start to improve that and make it just more accessible for anyone who comes to downtown, but obviously for the people who work here and live here as well. The CRA would be leasing that property initially for 1 year's term. The cost associated with that is about $500 a month, which pretty much offsets the taxes that that current property owner pays on that site.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion, Commissioner Hill.
No, not on that subject matter.
Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. David?
That is all, Mayor.
Okay.
I did want to, I just happened to see Brooke and Atlantic Housing. I just want to thank you all for your partnership and all that you all have done. When we talked about diversity and equity within that Creative Village component, and still being able to somewhat, because of construction costs and all those things, still be able to move that project forward. So thank you for your resilience and all that you do there.
Okay, and no further business come for the CRA DDB. We will adjourn that meeting, reconvene the city council meeting without objection, and we will move to ordinances on hearings. Ordinances, second reading, number 1.
Ordinance number 2023-31, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located at the northeast corner of East Park Street and Formosa Avenue, west of Pinewood Drive and south of Dartmouth Avenue, and comprised of 1.9 acres of land more or less, and amending the city's boundary description, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as neighborhood activity center in part and office low intensity in part. On the city's official future land use maps, designating the property as neighborhood activity center with a traditional city and Wekiva overlay district in part, and low-intensity office residential with a traditional and Wekiva overlay district in part. On the city's official zoning maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Madam Clerk, I don't have any cards for public participation.
No speakers, Mayor.
Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Lori, you want to read one of those? Okay. Ordinance is first reading, number 1.
Put me on the spot here.
Ordinance 2023-24, an ordinance of the City of Orlando granting Hamilton Alliance Incorporated a non-exclusive franchise to provide roll-off container collection and disposal of solid waste within the City of Orlando, outlining franchisees' duties and providing the terms and conditions under which such franchise shall operate, providing for severability and an effective date.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. I don't have any cards to talk on the roll-off container ordinance. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2.
Ordinance 2023-30, an ordinance of the City of Orlando granting West Palm Karting LLC DBA Red Box Plus Orlando a non-exclusive franchise to provide roll-off, container collection and disposal of solid waste within the City of Orlando, outlining franchisees' duties and providing the terms and conditions under which such franchise shall operate, providing for severability and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Madam Clerk, I don't have any cards. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Ordinance 2023-40, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the boundaries of the McCoy Eagle Plan Development Zoning District, such land being generally located east of Narcoossee Road, north of State Road 528, and west of Vista Park, amending the special land development regulations, providing a conforming legal description, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's error, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Again, I have no cards requesting to participate from the public discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 4.
Ordinance 2023-41, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the boundaries of the Vista Park Plan Development Zoning District, such land being generally located south of Lee Vista Boulevard, west of State Road 417, north of State Road 528, and east of Narcoossee Road, providing a conforming legal description, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's error, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. I have no cards for public testimony. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 5.
Ordinance 2023-42, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to change the future land use map designation for approximately 9.6 acres of land generally located north of State Road 528, east of Narcoossee Road, further amending the growth management plan to change the boundaries and development program of sub-area policies S.39.1 and to amend the boundaries of sub-area policy S.39.3, providing for amendment of the city's official growth management plan, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's error, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Again, I have no requests for participation. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 6.
Final one. Ordinance 2023-43, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan by updating figure CI-14 to be entitled City of Orlando 2023-2028 Capital Improvement Fund Schedule, amending policy 2.2.30 in the capital improvements element, providing for severability, correction of Scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. I have no requests for public participation. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? So the motion carries. Lori, great job at your very last council meeting.
It's too bad we didn't have a Wee Wah Hootie Road in there.
Yeah. With that, Ed, would you get us prepared for general appearance?